We are joined here live with head baseball coach Bobby Applegate as we preview and kick off the 2024 CSU Pueblo baseball season this week, as the Pack will be down in Austin, Texas to take on St. Ed's. Coach, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Coach, we know you guys are coming off a 17-15 record in RMAC play last year. Had a little bit of a rough start to start the year before in non-conference schedule, but you guys really settled the ship once RMAC play started, 17-15. What are your thoughts and expectations just kind of going into this 2024 season?
Well, we have a lot of expectations, and we're excited to get the season started. I feel like we've hit a lot of our recruiting needs and filled some of the holes that we had in our roster last year, and really excited to see what we're capable of doing this year.
Coach, we obviously know how strong, how top heavy the RMAC is. You know, you've obviously got Mesa, you've got MSU Denver, we've got you guys, you know, who all are solid members. We know the Lone Star is good, who you guys are in the region with, the South Central region. Talk about how difficult the RMAC is, how big every game is, and then obviously when you guys do get the chance to meet in a non-conference matchup with a Lone Star team. Talk about the importance of RMAC play and then the Lone Star.
Sure. Well, the RMAC play has been very, very good. There's good baseball in the state of Colorado. There's some really good coaches and good programs. We recruit all over the country. There's good baseball in that conference, and so, you know, every day, every game matters. Every weekend is huge. There's no down days, and so, you know, we got to make sure that we're prepared, ready to go, and have our best game every weekend.
You guys are picked 10th in the polls for the region. Obviously, that's not the NCAA polls; that's an unofficial poll. But you guys are picked 10th in the region and then 3rd in conference for the RMAC. What were your initial thoughts when those were released?
You know, I think it's great. I think that people think that we have something to prove, that we're a good enough program to get there. So being in the top 10 is great. We expect to climb into that poll. So we're really excited about that. And playing in the Lone Star, anytime we have an opportunity to play a Lone Star opponent, I think is a good thing. They play a 48-game conference schedule. They only have 2 non-conference games to give. So we're driving down to Austin to play those 2 games against them and get an opportunity to showcase our talents against the Lone Star region.
Yeah, obviously we know Angelo State, the defending Division II national champions, they're picked to win the Lone Star again. You guys get St. Ed's, a very talented squad down there in Austin. You get some returners coming back this year. You get some really important pieces. We'll go through a few of these names right here, just how important they are to your squad. Talk a little bit about, you know, you're starting. You get a couple real good right-handers coming back. You get Tyler Curtis, and then you obviously get your ace Zach Pratt back. Talk about those 2 big righties that are going to be leading the rotation for you guys.
Well, those 2 are big horses. They both worked together very hard and collected a lot of innings for us last year. They got a lot of experience. They got a lot of experience in our conference, and we're going to lean on those guys pretty heavy this year.
You also get some big bats back. You get Elijah Borjas, who's coming off a Gold Glove award from the conference. You get Keeson Howard back, the third baseman, you know, from just outside of Kansas City. He was an RMAC honorable mention last year. And then obviously you get your workhorse. You get Christian Castaneda back, who I've written about. He's got some big shoes to fill. He's a heck of a player himself, but you know, he's going to kind of have to fill those shoes for Reggie Williams.
Right.
Talk about those 3 guys that are going to be in your infield and outfield, and then obviously big bats for you guys.
Sure. Well, it's going to be really hard to replace Reggie Williams. He was our kickstarter last year, hitting our leadoff spot, set the table for us every day. He was a professional hitter, that's for sure. With these 3 guys coming back, they got more years of experience under their belt. Kyson Howard will man third base. He's done a wonderful job defensively. He's hit in the middle of our order and has done a great job of handling RMAC pitching. We're excited to watch him continue to grow. Elijah Borjas, who's kind of anchored down right field, is the Gold Glove winner, as you had mentioned, hit in the middle of our order as well, so a lot of experience. And then Christian Castaneda, who really came on strong at the end of our season, probably one of the most dangerous hitters in our lineup because he can beat you in a lot of different ways. With those 3 guys coming back, who had a great finish to the end of the RMAC season and the RMAC conference tournament, we're excited to see what they can put together for us this year.
Talk a little bit about your arms out of your bullpen. We obviously know good buddy of ours, works with us, Dylan Weaver. You've got some really solid arms out there in the pen as well. Talk about them a little bit.
Well, we've made a couple adjustments. We've added a couple feature players. We've moved Nick Perry, who was in our rotation, into the back end this year. He's going to complement Jacob Petersheim and Dylan Weaver. We've also added another junior college arm who had great success on the back end, and Brad Barkley. And we have an incoming freshman named Jack Novak, who's done a great job throwing in some close games for us here this fall. So we're excited to see what they can do, helping us out in the back end of the game.
We'll circle back around. You're talking about the Lone Star Conference playing mostly all conference games. A big, they're such a big conference. You guys, the RMAC, just 9 teams, so you get a little bit more non-conference play. We talk about this in other sports. Every game matters. In baseball, it comes down to every pitch matters. Every at-bat matters. Quality at-bats, that kind of thing. Talk about only 6 teams get into that South Central region, and it forms into a super region after that. Talk about how night in and night out, whether it's a conference game, a non-conference game, just how you take your approach. You take every at-bat one pitch at a time. Defensively, you take every pitch one pitch at a time. Talk about how important it is, night in and night out, to make sure you get a high enough regional ranking.
Sure. Well, we don't have the luxury of a lot of midweek games, so the development on the midweek is difficult. So when you play 4 games in 3 days, that's a challenge, physically and mentally, and typically in Colorado we're dealing with the weather as well. So we have a lot of things that we're challenged with day in and day out, just as you said. But it is the team who can focus and execute on a day in, day out basis that I think gives themselves the best chance to win.
You guys are headed down to St. Ed's this weekend, like we said, to take on a really talented Hilltopper squad there in Austin. Talk about just maybe, it's a little bit of nostalgia, opening day every day, where there's college baseball, the professional level, just those goosebumps that come down your arm. You're in your 3rd season leading the pack. Obviously, we know you played here back in the 90s, but talk about those goosebumps, that opening day feeling.
Sure. Well, they're the 2 best days in baseball, professional baseball, that I can recall, is opening day and 4th of July. And so we get to have the opening day here. And our boys are chomping at the bit. Division II baseball opened up February 1st, so last weekend. So we were more spectators last week watching everyone else play, but our guys are hungry, ready to go. We opened up with St. Edward's last year, and we didn't play very well in the first game. We played a strong game in game 2, and we're excited to get down on their turf and see what we can do this year, and hopefully answer the call with a couple of W's.
We'll close out with this, Coach. Like we said earlier, you guys are picked 3rd in the RMAC, 10th in the region. 6 teams, a combination of Lone Star and RMAC teams, make it to the region. We'll close out on this right here. What do you guys need to do as a squad to make sure you ensure yourself to get a top 6 berth into the South Central Region Championship?
Well, we need to do a really great job in our non-conference. We have an opportunity to play some in-region teams and get some big wins on the road. I think that's really helpful. Then obviously we have to perform very well in our conference, and then we need a great outing in our conference tournament as well. So there's 3 opportunities where we have a chance, to put ourselves in a position for postseason play. And if we can take care of business, we got a chance to put ourselves in that top 6.
Head coach Bobby Applegate, as the CSU Pueblo opens up their season this Friday and Saturday down in Austin, Texas at St. Ed's to kick off the 2024 campaign. Coach Bobby Applegate, thanks for joining us here this morning.
Thank you. And go Pack.